What's going on there, guys? Good evening. It is the Earthmaster back here on this beautiful Tuesday night, May 2nd, 2023. It's about 9:19 p.m. here along the West Coast. State of California, 2.5, the latest earthquake, along with a 2.0 here into the area of Turkey, with a few aftershocks popping up there in that region of the world today. All right, let's go ahead and jump into activity here on the West Coast. We did see some slight activity ramping up around Southern Cal northward, a little bit more noticeable up here in Northern California over the past 24 hours. Got a little separate swarm going on here north of the Ridgecrest area with, a bunch of earthquakes here in this little swarm. We did have a 3.5, the largest in this area. Now it is, looks like it is off of the fault system that created that series of earthquakes back in 19? I think it was around July 4th, July 5th, 2019 there. I believe those earthquakes were on the Little Lake fault. This area looks like it was either the Little Lake or the Airport fault, one of the two here that produced those series of earthquakes. Either way, a little bit of activity ramping up in a swarm fashion today around the Ridgecrest area. Also, it looks like a 2.0 earlier this morning as well. Far as extreme Southern California goes, well, a little movement down here as noted today, 1.6 and a 1.1. And just for reassurance here, I do want to check out the, stand by for just a second while I pull this up. Let's see what I did with it. Oh, here we go. I bookmarked it. Stuck it up here on the tab. All right. I want to check out the Webby quarters up here and see what we have down into the Southern California area around the El Centro region, just for verification. And to me, it still looks like there's earthquake activity. I'm not even joking. That over the past 3 hours or so, still looks like earthquake activity. I'm going to go back here and check out a little bit earlier. Yeah, I would say there's still earthquake activity out here around this specific station. Let's go ahead and back out. Going to go up here around the Salton Sea area and check out this station right here, Rock Hill. This one looks pretty calm. Not a whole lot of activity. So I'm guessing the movement that we're seeing here to this seismograph station near El Centro is very small in terms of microquake activity, or they have some type of error going on out here. But to me, that looks like earthquake activity. Anyone that will view a seismograph will definitely see that as earthquake activity. So let me go over here to the, what was that, Snafner Ranch? These guys are reporting calm conditions as well. Not a whole lot of earthquake activity there. So it's hard to say. Signal Mountain. That one looks calm as well. So it doesn't look like any big earthquake activity going on around the El Centro area. It looks like whatever's going on a seismograph station is very localized here to the area. It looks like a train track running through here, but I don't think the train runs 24/7 every single minute through there. So it looks like a little bit of smaller earthquake activity localized there to the El Centro region. So we'll just kind of watch that, see how it plays out, folks. Either way, a little bit of swarming up north. Not a whole lot going on across the southern branch of the San Andreas Fault up here off of the San Andreas Fault here, just south of the bay. We did have a 3.2 earlier this evening near the San Juan Bautista area, along with a 1.7, looks like. A little bit of movement there along the plate boundary. Also north of San Jose, seen a 2.0. Further into Northern California, a little bit of activity out here on the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. The latest one, a 3.0. Well off the coast here, Petrolia, southwest of Eureka, out on the plate boundary of the Juan de Fuca plate up to the north and the Pacific plate to the south. Or, if you want to be specific, that's going to be the Little Gorda plate. Either way, slight activity going on there today. Let's go ahead and check out the trimmer map. across the Cascadia. See what we have going on, and we are back at 0. Zip, nada. 0 epicenters of tremor is the number today. That means that, well, that tremor event is over for the most part. Let me check out, see if they have any updated info here. Nope. April 17th is when they just put that out, when we had the elevated tremor activity, and that was about it. All right, so let's see what else we have. Washington, a little earthquake up here, 2.1 near the Mossy Rock area. Over here around Idaho. Definitely seems like it's kicking up here around the Sawtooth Fault area. It's been relatively quiet here over the past couple months, but things look like they're picking up here around the Stanley, Idaho area. Some 2s and 3s going on here into this area of Idaho. Nothing going on across the Yellowstone area, but let's double check that for reassurance. It can never be too, let's see, is it working? Maybe offline, I don't know. Looks like that station or the Yellowstone thumbnails is offline. So we're not going to be able to see the Yellowstone thumbnails, but I'll check back on that here in a second. I don't like it when a window stays hung up like that for too long. It makes me a little suspicious. All right, so we'll move on here. Nevada did see a little bit of activity as well near Eureka, Nevada, 3.3. Out, yeah, south of Eureka here. Many different fault systems running through Nevada. The rest of Nevada, most of the activity here across the western areas with some small microquake movement. A little bit of activity across Utah as well. See what we got going on here across the regions of New Mexico, 3.3 early this morning there. And looks like Oklahoma and Kansas seeing some slight uptick there. I think these two were from this morning as well, 4 o'clock in the morning. Across the New Madrid seismic zone, we got some earthquakes as well early in the morning. Nothing over the afternoon or evening time period yet. Up against the Appalachian Mountains there, looks like a 2.6 there in Kentucky, 18 kilometers deep. All right, Puerto Rico region, fairly quiet, not a whole lot going on there today. Across the earthquake 3D globe, there is a 5.1 that came into the Panama area earlier this evening, 82 kilometers deep. Been a little while since we've seen any earthquake activity out here in Panama, but as noted here, they can get some earthquakes. Let's see what we got. A few folks did report feeling it has been reviewed. Again, just outside of the Panama City area. Further up north along the Middle America Trench, looks like 4.1 off the coast of Mexico and some smaller quakes there around the Costa Rica area. South America, 2.5 coming in right now as we speak. And some other smaller quakes, it looks like, within the vicinity of Chile. Looks like the last one here was a 5.0 near the coast of southern Peru. On land, 61 kilometers deep. Atlantic Ocean, one earthquake out here in the northern mid-Atlantic ridge. 4.5 coming in. Nothing else showing up out there. It's been relatively quiet. Some deeper movement looks like out here around the Mediterranean. We are seeing some slight activity. Let me pull up this here. In eastern Afghanistan with a 4.6 and more recently a 4.4. Coming into this area of Afghanistan somewhat deep, about 200 kilometers below the surface. Here's some movement into the China area from this morning, it looks like, with 5.3 and a 4.6. Far as the Java Trench goes, further down south, not a whole lot going on. Some older movement quakes there from early this morning. Getting a good cluster of activity once again around Papua New Guinea and the Indonesia area, as noted here across the USGS map as well. 4.7 into the Japan Trench. Nothing showing up over here yet on the USGS model, but looks like there's a little bit of activity here recently. Down into the Tonga area in Fiji. Got 3 earthquakes from earlier. And some slight adjustment going on down here in New Zealand. So you know what to do, or what we're going to do. We're going to go check out the GeoNet servers and see what's going on here. 2.4. Most of this activity looks like it's, again, into this area of New Zealand. It's been kind of an off and on swarm here, I would say, for a little while. Pretty good cluster of earthquakes there across the eastern coast there of New Zealand. Check out the earthquake drums here in that area. And let's see here. Not a whole lot. I'm looking for earthquakes that would show up across the board here, and most of the activity looks generally light and confined to this area of New Zealand, right here on the eastern coast here of the North Island. Down south, not a whole lot going on. In fact, really nothing showing up here across the seismograph stations there of New Zealand. Quick glance here at the volcano drums, about the same. Let's see if there's any news going on here. Looks like Crater Lake area. I'm going to leave that out here tonight because I don't know if I want to even attempt to pronounce that. Crater Lake is cooling. Volcanic unrest remains low for Mount. This area right here, the volcanic alert level remains at level 1. The average daily temperature looks like a decline here. So apparently it looks like everything's back to green, so to speak, with this active volcano there. Okay, all right, Eric. All right, I'm going to move on here past this. I'm not even for sure exactly. It's a beautiful image, by the way. Very awesome looking. Not super familiar with the volcanoes down there across New Zealand, so it's going to be on my study list for sure. Volcanoes is definitely a hot topic out there and a major player in the plate tectonics and geology in general. All right, let's see. Hawaii. What do we got here across the volcanoes here? This is a little bit more in my book as far as volcano knowledge goes. 2.1, eastern edge here of the Big Island. I don't think we've got any changes going on there across the Kilauea area, but we are going to double check that here with the what's going on here. I'm getting there we go. With the HVO Kilauea daily update put out here by the USGS. Today's date: not erupting. Kilauea volcano not erupting, and no lava has been observed since March 7th. Instruments in the summit region have tracked gradually an inflationary tilt over the past day, which continues at this time. So let's go check it out. Kind of curious to see what the tilt meter may look like. Let's zoom in. Zoom to. There we go. Hello. What are we doing wrong? My mouse not working today, I guess. Oh, that was way overblown. It looks like it was ahead of the web page, but that's all right. We got it. So let's check out this station right here. It's a tilt meter monitoring station over the past few days here. We're still definitely looking at some elevated tilt, inflationary tilt. That one's not working. I don't know how many of these are, but I'm not going to go checking them all. I did want to look at this one here a little bit more. Past 2 days, it looks like steady inflationary tilt. With earthquake activity happening, but not anything major. I think we'll still see probably a few more swarms before this thing decides to kick up again. Some of this earthquake activity down about 2 to 5 kilometers below the surface. All right, moving up to the Alaska area. Things have kind of tapered off up here as well. Look at the 2.5 map and above. Shows, goodness, it's a little odd. Nothing up there. We got more earthquakes in the 2.5 range in California right now than we do up north. Obviously, there's some microquake activity, but nothing worthy to note there across this area of Alaska. All right. Well, let's see if anything else is going on here across the area. There's that deeper movement, Mediterranean area. I think that's about it. Just kind of taking a pause, right, on the big earthquake activity. I'm still leaving up the earthquake watch for California tonight. It is still showing some signs of elevated pressure out here, but we'll probably drop it off after tonight if nothing gets elevated as far as the movement goes. Definitely seeing a noticeable uptick though across the Sierra Nevada and western Nevada area. Mostly smaller microquakes, but a visual higher amount as far as the multitude of quakes go in this area. All right. What else? Space weather activity. Give that a quick glance here from the solarham.net site. Looks like still remains 99% chance for a C flare. These are hard to say if these are going to be accurate for the solar sunspots that we have currently, but this is what's issued. 50% for M flare, 10% for the X flare probability. And we're really not seeing too much right now in the solar flare department. Still kind of crackling here with some C flares, but nothing major. Look here at the newest imagery here of the magnetic structure of the sunspots. I'm going to say goodbye to this regional sunspot. It is drifting. So long. We'll see you next time around, maybe on the southwestern edge of the sun. I am watching this area over here on the northeastern section, northeastern limb of the sun. That looks, man, it's got a fairly deep sunspot core there, along with a few other interesting developing sunspots as well within the vicinity. So this is going to be a very active region, unless it happens to hear me and then it just dies down all of a sudden. But I don't think so. I think we're going to watch this in the coming days, and it may be a major flare producer. That's going to be 3293, 3296, and this huge sunspot region 3297. Also 3294 in there. Kind of looks like it wants to join the party. Here's a look at the visible disk. Still, like I say, that's a pretty active region. We'll watch that here in the coming days. Quick glance at the UV filter. And does show quite a bit of brightening and some magnetic lines out there. Arches and all sorts of good stuff. All right, no major auroras forecasted, so therefore things are very minimal up there across the region. Quiet across all the zones. Don't worry, that's going to change. All right, weather activity, Space Prediction Center here, day 3. Looks to be somewhat promising for some severe weather out here across areas of Texas and into Oklahoma. We'll watch that, though, as we get a little bit closer. Did have a little bit of thunderstorm activity here in Northern California earlier. Just missed us. We got a little bit of rain, but most of the storms were south of us a little bit. So it's kind of nice and cool for a May day. It's supposed to be like this for a little while. Pull up the western states here. Here's this low pressure system just kind of spinning off the coast, kicking up some moisture and some cooler temperatures. That's going to hang around for another day or two. It's hard to say. I don't see this being cool all the way into the middle of May. That would be almost unheard of out here along the west coast. But it does look unsettled here to the Pacific Northwest. We'll watch that, though, in the days ahead. So May 4th here, on Thursday, it looks like we may have that severe weather threat. And lots of rain coming in, though, into the Texas area, Oklahoma, Kansas area as well. Again, this is a couple days out, all subject to change, but it looks like a promising pattern of wetness out here for a much needed region of drought areas. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to jump off here. Hope everyone has a lot of these are just not working. I don't know why, but there's a GPS here across the portion of the Mauna Loa area. Local up. Not a whole lot going on. Okay. All right, I'm going to jump off here, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe, and we will chat you guys sometime tomorrow. Again, welcome to the new members out there, new members that join, and also the ones that were gifted. Of course, we're doing our member giveaway here on the 15th of May. Here in about 2 weeks or so. Be doing a drawing live, and we'll be giving away some prizes. So look forward to that. We'll catch you guys back here sometime in the morning. Take care. Have a good one.